What is going on, everybody? How are you all today? We are live once again. It is Tuesday, and this is another live edition of the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, and May is about to be out of here. June's around the corner, which is the month of my birthday, but that's beside the point. But what's going on, everyone? As always, I am Steve, and this is the good brother Chase, all the way from beautiful sunny California. I know today's a big day, bro. Today is officially game one of the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, yeah.
Your beloved Minnesota Timberwolves against those darn Oklahoma City Thunder, man. How excited are you, bro? What are your expectations?
Man, I'm super excited because last year we made the Western Conference Finals and I was amped up. Like we got out of the first round, we beat the Suns and we swept them, and then we went into a great 7-game series against the defending champs, the Denver Nuggets. So it was like after beating the Nuggets, I was like sky high, and then we got our asses kicked by the Mavs. And honestly, the first 2 games we could have won those 2 games. So I was super pumped up. This year it's like even more exciting because one, I just feel like it's a good chance that the Timberwolves can win the championship. Like last year, even if we beat the Mavericks, I don't know, I didn't feel like we could beat the Celtics. Like I felt like we could give the Celtics problems, but I don't think we would have beat them. This year, it's like, oh man, dude, we beat the Thunder. Then we got to face either the Pacers or the Knicks, and I feel we match up well with them. So it's like, it's very exciting, to be honest. Like, y'all got to understand the Timberwolves are a poverty ass franchise. Like we never end these situations, man. Like last year was a dream. Now to repeat that, saying that, hey, we are a team that can consistently make the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So yeah, man, I'm really amped up for game one. This whole series I'm amped up, and if the Thunder win, they win. But it makes me happy where my team is at because our best player is only 23 years old. And normally in basketball terms, your best player doesn't reach his peak until they're 26 to 28. And it's like he's already like way above his years. So it's super exciting just for the future. But with this team right now, I feel like we have a great chance to actually win the title. So it's a little bit more nerve-wracking than last year. Last year, it was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, this is great. But I didn't think we could win the title. This year, I'm like, bro, there's a chance like we can win the fucking title. And I will be I like literally I don't know what to do myself if they win the title. Like this would be like this is my first favorite team. Like out of all the sports I follow, I know a lot of you guys know me as like a Chargers fan and stuff, but my first favorite team of any sport was the Timberwolves. That's my first favorite team that I fell in love with. Like basketball is not like my favorite sport, but that was my first team that I can remember following and loving and supporting and stuff. And to be with them since I was like a little kid to now, it's almost like Jesus, man. Like I'm older than the Timberwolves, to be honest. Like the Timberwolves didn't form until like the Timberwolves are a little bit older than me, but I'm like the same age as the Timberwolves in terms of life and how long they've been in the NBA. So yeah, man, it's mad exciting, bro. It's mad exciting, and it's like it'd be great to see a championship this year or in the next few years. But I would love to win one this year, and it'll just be like finally something paid off for me when it comes to like the Cubs. I've seen the Cubs win the title, and I've seen Alabama win a bunch of national championships. But those are teams that I adopted because of my dad. And the Chargers, I just chose based off one player in like 2000 and stuff like that. The Timberwolves, I fell in love with when I was like 2 years old. And I've been a fan of them ever since. Like, if I never saw KG play live, I would be a Lakers fan. Like, I'll just be honest, I'd probably be a Lakers fan. But I grew up supporting the Timberwolves because they were good enough. They were on TV, so I was able to keep up with them. So, yeah, man, I'm super excited for tonight. I really hope we have a strong game one. I want to get one on the road before going back to Soda.
Yeah, so if they win the whole thing, Chase, you going to Minnesota to the parade, or?
I want to go to the parade. It would be too much money to do so, but I definitely will be buying a good amount of Minnesota Timberwolves championship gear. That's for sure. And then also too, I can buy a jersey in peace knowing that my team won, and I don't feel because I feel like I curse my favorite players when I buy their jerseys. So I don't buy my favorite players' jerseys like of my teams that I support. Like I'll buy other players' jerseys, but not mine and stuff. So yeah, so like yeah, no, I'm pretty stoked, to be honest.
That's what's up, bro. I mean, you think about it too, right? There's a lot of like Knicks influence in all this, right? In both conferences, because again, you look at
Yeah.
the Timberwolves, you have Julius Randle, you have Dante DiVincenzo, who played in the Knicks. I think it was last year, right? Was it last year? They were
Yeah,
both in the
yeah.
Knicks, and now the Knicks are on the Eastern Conference Final against the Pacers, which we'll get into in this review as well, because there's some like mention of it right on last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, and it's crazy to think, bro. Like potentially we might end up seeing a Knicks Timberwolves NBA Finals. I'm
Mhm.
saying that the group chat going to be insane if that happens. The group chat,
Yeah, I might be silent in that group chat that happens and stuff. The thing with the Timberwolves too is like if we make the finals, we did everything wrong to make this roster. Like our center Rudy Gobert, people need to realize when we made that trade, everyone said it was the worst trade in NBA history. We kind of fucked up the whole trade market when we traded for Gobert because we traded away 4 first-round picks to get a guy in Rudy Gobert, and everyone was saying, "Oh my God, why would they trade? Why would they trade for this guy? He can't even be." Because at the time, Gobert, one of his biggest flaws was this: great in the regular season, but come the playoffs, teams figured out how not to um have him on the floor. So pretty much just pretty much Gobert was just unplayable in the playoffs. And that happened in his first year at Minnesota, where he was unplayable in the playoffs. Like we could not use him on the floor at all. But Chris Finch, who is the greatest Timberwolves coach of all time, and stuff like, and that's what Flip Saunders also being mentioned. Rest in peace to the legend. Chris Finch found a way to make sure Gobert is integral on the floor, and he forces people instead of like making sure Gobert is not a factor, makes Gobert a factor, and you see it. And then also Julius Randle, because Cat is one of the best offensive bigs in the league, and he had a tremendous year for the Knicks this year. And everyone was saying, "Why the fuck you just made the Western Conference Finals? You're trading your second best player, a guy that plays well with Ant. Why are you trading him for Julius Randle, who has had no playoff success, known as a ball stopper? He's going to ruin the chemistry." Da 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 da. And people were calling that the worst trade and saying the Knicks won the trade, even though we got DiVincenzo, who everyone was like, "Oh yeah, at least they got DiVincenzo out of it." Like people all were joking, saying it was the Cat for Devo trade, and people were thinking that the Timberwolves, when Randall was eligible to be traded again, they were just going to trade him again, and we didn't. We kept the pace, and we kept faith, and he got injured, and then he came back in March, and since March we've been 26-6, so we've only lost 6 games since this lineup has been really, really healthy, and we've only lost 2 games in this playoffs overall. So it's like there's a lot, and he's been balling. He's been balling. Julius Randle's been balling. So it's like it's funny. It's like the 2 worst trades, like how you shouldn't construct a roster, is working. So, hey man, what do we know as fans sometimes, right?
Exactly, yeah, man. But again, man, good luck to you, man. Again, it should be good games coming up in the next couple of days.
Yeah, stressful
Put it this
games.
way, tomorrow, but look, there might not even be a sad tomorrow for all I know. It might not even be a something about Dynamite for all
Yeah,
I
you
know.
might have to do Sandy, something about the New York Knicks.
Maybe so, maybe so. Something about the New York
Yeah,
Knicks.
Saney. You should do Saney.
Saint, maybe so. It's crazy. I said this on Kitchen yesterday. Like, it's crazy to think how last Friday, right? The Knicks played the Celtics. It was game 6, right, at the Garden. At the same time, it was the Yankees and the Mets. It's crazy to think the New York Knicks brought unity to the Mets and the Yankees. For one day, that team brought unity, which is crazy as all hell. But besides all that, last night was Monday Night Raw. It was the go home show to Saturday night's main event, which, by the way, we'll be previewing once we're done talking about Raw. And I'll be honest, for the go home show, it was all right. Nothing really to like sink your teeth in my opinion. I will say this once again: Logan Paul, the Maverick, my guy, catches Jey Uso. Jey Uso needs to literally work on his head movement in defense leading up to the match on Saturday. But also that there was, again, there was qualifying matches for the women's Money in the Bank. But overall, I thought it was all right episode of Raw. Nothing to go crazy about. But what about your thoughts, Chase?
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. I felt matches were really good on this episode of Raw. I enjoyed most of the matches that took place, the main event, the opener, the first women's triple threat coming to mind. The promos kind of weak. Like none of them made me like excited. Like I felt it was so goofy. Seth Rollins going up to everyone backstage, like explaining his plans, like he's a Power Rangers villain. Like, and I'm gonna win the world title. That's the vision. I was like, dude, shut up. I don't care. Like and stuff. Like your best promo shouldn't have been Rusev hyping up a match with Akira Tozawa. Like that right there, I was like, bro, that shouldn't be your best promo. Your best promo should be something with the main event. I will say I like how, because one of my biggest complaints in wrestling is when themes don't blend together, because like you're in your own storyline. So it's like, oh, we can't pay attention to what's going on here. So I kind of like that there's a lot of interweaving with like Gunther, Jay, Seth, and Logan when it comes to the world heavyweight title. Like even though like Jay has his own problems he has to handle, he's still focused on Seth, and Seth's still focused on that belt. So I do like that, but storyline wise, it's like, yeah, it just didn't do much storyline wise. Match wise, though, this Raw delivered. But to me, when it comes to episode of wrestling, I need a good combination of both. And this one just didn't provide a lot of like juicy storyline stuff. It just kind of felt like, oh, okay, like here's some good matches, build up Money in the Bank. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, for the most part. Raw was live last night, believe from Greenville, South Carolina. Did I get it right?
One of the best crowds, man. That crowd was I normally have to turn up my TV just to hear the crowd and stuff. But man, I didn't have to turn up my TV for this crowd. They were hot the whole night, man. Like gave CM Punk an Attitude Era pop, sang his song when it stopped, and it wasn't even half-assed. Like they got it to the like they could have easily sang that whole song. So yeah, man, like what a great job, Greenville, South Carolina. Like you guys were rocking.
You guys brought it. They did, especially in the opening segment with my guy, the Maverick, Logan Paul, opened the show. And he basically said, he spoke some facts. In his opinion, he spoke some facts that Jey Uso is now worthy of being world heavyweight champion. How in the time that he's been there, it took him less time to win a singles title than it took Jey Uso. Fact, right? He's dropped Jey Uso multiple times, right? He's putting it, mind you, while all this is happening, everyone is just chanting yeet. The crowd brought it. They were yeeting at Jey Uso, at Logan Paul, right? To the point where Logan Paul is like, you know what? Screw it. Y'all want to yeet? Go ahead, yeet. Go ahead. And all this brought out Gunther. Brought him out. And I don't know if you caught this or not, bro, but Gunther on this episode, very tweener for the most part.
He got a pop. His music hit and the fans popped. They were excited. Like Gunther, I don't think Gunther should be a baby face. I feel he's the perfect heel. But the way he was written to this week's episode of Raw, it was so much more babyface than like any other episode.
Yeah, and he got in the ring, and he talked about how that Logan is acting very confident that he thinks he can beat the guy that beat him, that being Jey Uso beat Gunther at WrestleMania, and he's in a way admiring the confidence. He was praising Logan Paul, as he should. Multi-millionaire, made himself a self-made man, right? With his platforms and all that. And for him, and again, it like Logan couldn't believe it. Logan was like, yo, he's in shock that Gunther respects him, right? That he's praising him and all that stuff. And he talks about how for Logan, it's business, but for Gunther, it's personal. And you'll find it personally disrespectful if it's Logan Paul beating Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event. And and after this led to Gunther to walk away, right? And as this is happening, this is all happening, the crowd starts going electric again. You kind of get the idea where this is going. Jey Uso shows up from the crowd behind Logan Paul, lays him out with a kick, and then he gets on the mic and he says, you know what, he's gonna be the one to win. And he looks like Gunther. He does the usual stick, the 4 words, yeet, right, and all that stuff. And it was a good opening segment for the most part, right? It got crowd excited. People were losing it for Jey Uso. They were yeeting. But once again, it gives people the idea, oh, look, we could potentially see Gunther and Logan Paul, which, could be. I mean, that's the first time that they were in the ring together in this environment. That's the first time. But for the most part, I thought overall was a good opener as far as the segment goes. Your thoughts, Chase?
Yeah, I thought this was one of Logan Paul's better promos instead of doing the usual like heat, make fun of the crowd. I'm better than you guys. Had some good points, and I liked his talking points with Gunther. Gunther, he's always like a good promo, so can't really complain. But yeah, good opening segment. Definitely added some intrigue because like it's pretty obvious Jay's going to retain most likely that Saturday night's main event. But you got to have like some sprinkles that Logan has a chance. So Gunther kind of approaching Logan Paul kind of makes it feel like, oh, okay, maybe Logan can win on Saturday.
Maybe he can. Maybe we'll get into that. People might be surprised with my decision come prediction time. But from there we see backstage Paul Heyman. He sees Jey Uso and he's telling him that just facts. As Logan Paul was trying to do in the square circle, right? He was just telling him, all that stuff. And mind you, the main event is Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. That is the main event. And he was telling him, like, look, Braun doesn't want the title. He just wants to beat you up eventually. And also the fact, Seth Rollins and all that stuff. And we get the opening match. We get the Judgment Day of Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus a color coordinated of Penta and AJ Styles. I love the fact that they were both coordinated. It made you think, oh, they're going to be like a tag team down the road, or how most tag teams, right? They match together with their gear, right? Even though this was like a 1 week only, makes you think, hey, maybe for the next couple of weeks, put them as a tag team, right? Phenomenal Penta, right? I thought this was the match of the night for the most part, right? Everyone was just getting their spots in. They noticed on commentary, they mentioned that Dominic, for another week, he's not there at ringside, in support of the Judgment Day. It was just Carlito. And again, everything was going crazy, right? There was outside moves like Penta did like the Mexican Destroyer, right? And from the crowd, we see El Grande Americano, who last week wasn't even there, right? He was doing international tour, according to Pat McAfee, right? And he headbutts Penta with the loaded mask. And this led to Finn Balor to take the advantage. It hit the coup de grace, and he pins Penta for the 1, 2, 3. I thought overall this was probably the match of the night for the most part, up until that ending. But still, overall, it was a good match. Chase, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was terrific. This is like this one made me feel like I was watching like an episode of AEW instead of Monday Night Raw. Just the match quality that they had. Like normally they don't really go this crazy for matches, but I feel like every episode of Raw needs this quality level of match every single week. This was terrific. All four of these men absolutely killed it. It was a fun watch. It wasn't boring. Crowd was really, really into it. AJ looked great. Penta just feels like such a mega star for this company. For so many years, they've been trying to find like who can fill the void of Rey Mysterio. Yeah, I think Penta is going to fill that void of Rey Mysterio perfectly fine because he just oozes charisma. He has a great aura about him, and the fans have just latched onto him. Like everything about Penta is just great. JD and Finn, we know they're a great tag team, so we don't have to worry about them. And like, it was crazy how good this tag match was. It's like, man, dude, like, how come the tag titles can't get this type of love in a tag team match? This is just a regular match because like we're blending two different, at least I mean 3 different storylines together. If you add the El Grande Americano part of it, so I really like this match. I felt it accomplished a lot. It got Judgment Day a win, which it kind of needed. It prolonged, also the AJ Styles feud with Judgment Day, and it also prolonged Penta's feud with the Judgment Day and the feud with Grande Americano. This is what you really want in a match, not just for the match to be good, but also it affects other storylines that are going on the television show. That is a weekly television show, not just like, oh wow, they had a good match and it's like So like, how does this pay off for the winners and the losers and everything? Because we all know AJ's focus is right now is trying to get the IC title. Penta has been beefing with the Judgment Day on and off, and they're the reason why he didn't win the IC title. But then he was El Grande Americano. So when you do that, that's what elevates a match to me. It's not just the in-ring action that's also good, but when you can just elevate the storylines just a little bit, and they did a good job with that. So yeah, this was absolutely terrific. Like they need to if WWE can just find a way to keep up like this quality level of matches along with other storyline beats, it'd be a much more enjoyable like 3 hours every week. But you also have to find like the healthy balance with good promo segments too, because when you don't have good promo segments, it kind of like makes the show feel redundant.
It does, yeah, it absolutely does. And again, don't we just wish the tag titles would get the same type of love, man? For real, man. It's ridiculous for the most part. But this after all this, right? We see Kathy Kelly interviewing Io Sky. Factor in, they're focusing a lot on these women in the women Money Bank qualifiers, being that Io won a Money in the Bank. So she's asking for experience and all that stuff. And then Becky Lynch interrupts her. And she said that she planned on cashing on Money in the Bank on Sky, being that she'd never beaten her, right? That being Io never beaten Becky. And in the background, you can see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston talking to Grayson Waller backstage, who also had a match later on in the night. Again, something you can see down the road, right? Potentially, but Becky Lynch, all that stuff, but we'll see. We also saw Seth Rollins telling Logan Paul, because again, Logan Paul, like Seth Rollins, like you mentioned earlier, right, was talking to almost everybody, like that villain in Power
So
Rangers. Like
fucking it is annoying.
it's like he was
Like just like we're gonna steal the Rangers' powers. It's like, okay, we get it. You want the world title. Like why are you telling everyone? Just shut up.
You're gonna beat those Rangers, yeah. I'll
That's pretty much it.
I'll try to be Clipper, but I couldn't do it in a Clipper voice. But you get the idea, basically. And Logan was like, okay, bro. Like, and they also factoring in, they did have that match at WrestleMania. So said, well, we can run it back.
Yeah, before we talk about the next match, I just want to give one of my pet peeves of watching Raw. I am so sick and tired of every single fucking week, Jackie or Kathy ask a wrestler a question. And, instead of the wrestler just having the moment to like at least try and do a promo, they either say one or two words and then get interrupted, or they're like, Kathy or Jackie are asking a question, and then something else is going on backstage. And they go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we can't talk to you right now." And then they go to whatever mayhem's going on. But like, it's so annoying. It really is annoying for me, at least, because I'm just like, bro, like sometimes these are segments that are important where the wrestler gets to riff for like 2 minutes and say what they need to say. Like, you don't need every promo to be an interruption. Sometimes it could be, just the wrestler saying their thoughts, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like Io Sky won the Money in the Bank, like we mentioned, cashed in successfully. She can talk about that and then add on to the fact that she is worried of the fact that someone could cash in on her, but she is Io Sky and she is ready for everyone and stuff like that. And then fades away. And that's it. That's what we need. We didn't need Becky to tease a match that's not going to happen anytime soon. Like, this match is not happening anytime soon. Why are we doing it? Like, I get you want to go, ooh, okay. Like, you want to hear the crowd react to that. That's what matches are for. That's when you can have them stare each other down the ring, and then you hear like the roar from the crowd, and when they stare each other down, like, it's just annoying. Like, I'm so tired of every time. Like, why do you even have these backstage interviews if they're just going to get cut off because you want to like show that your backstage is like, oh, the WWE backstage, there's a lot of moving parts and everything. It's like, no, let the interviewers do their job. Let the wrestlers have their shine. They don't need to be outshadowed and stuff. Like, it's annoying. It's one of my biggest pet peeves watching Monday Night Raw every week. It's just the wrestlers not getting a chance to talk backstage because there always has to be some interruption.
Yeah, that too. But from there we get the first not for Raw, that is for Raw, because on SmackDown we already have some participants that already we have basically Alexa Bliss, who qualified already for the women's Money in the Bank, right? And we get on to now the Raw portion, right? And we did have Roxanne Perez versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. What do you know? They even mentioned on commentary Natty's participation at the Crockett Cup against Kenzie Page for the NW Women's title. It was crazy. I was trying to watch the match, see if I, catch that at least, right? I couldn't catch it. It was a TV taping. What a letdown. But point is, though, the match itself for what it was fine for what it was. I will say this. I'm not really surprised because I thought it was the right move to have Roxanne get the win. Because you thought, okay, maybe this could be for Becky Lynch, right? But out of nowhere, we saw Lyra Valkyria return, and she stopped Becky, and they were brawling, right? And obviously, this led to Roxanne hit the pop rocks on Natty for the 1-2-3. And I will say this, man, Roxanne Perez, who's now officially part of the Monday Night Raw roster, because obviously Julia's part of SmackDown, she is having an amazing 2025 when you think about it, right? She was the MVP of the Women's Rumble, right? She was in the Women's Chamber, right? She's been tearing it up in NXT and also on the main Raw because she was, going back and forth for a while. We were there for that stand and lever match, right? In that, that fatal 4-way tag match. Killed it there too. And now here she is in the Money in the Bank ladder match coming up. Could she win? Big possibility that she could be the one.
I think she's one of the favorites. I think it's between her and Naomi. Yeah, it just depends because it's Triple H booking. So if you're going to have someone that holds a briefcase for a long time, it's Roxanne. If you want someone that is going to cash in the same night or the next or on that following Friday episode of SmackDown, it's Naomi. So those are your two choices in my person. I don't feel there's anyone else on the field. Like Rhea doesn't need it. Alexa, it's kind of like they kind of put Alexa in these spots just because they know she's over, but they're just like, yeah, we're still waiting on it. Bo Dallas can get healthy so we can do this Wyatt 6 stuff with you or something. Like I really don't know what they have planned for Alexa Bliss at this point. It's like it's kind of crazy. One of your most over wrestlers and you have no plans for her. Like that's insane to me. But yeah, I think Roxanne's a heavy favorite to win the Money in the Bank. This match was good too, like you said. Becky was calling out her spots loud. Natty, I don't know, man. Like she was kind of moving a little bit slow in that ring, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. She was.
It's like we knew going in that she was going to be the one to eat the pin. Like you kind of knew, all right, she's the one eating the pin. It's like Natty main roster. It's fine. It's
she's done she's a legend. She's done everything. It's just more of like she's not like the problem with Natty is she's at that point in her career where like a lot like especially if you've been watching for a long time, like you just know she's going to lose, and so there's no unless they're in Canada and they're just trying to hype her up there. Other than that, it's just like Natty's coming out and she's just going to lose, and most likely because of what happened in this match, because of Lyra's attack, she pulled Becky out of the ring when it looked like Natty could have taken advantage of Becky. So maybe we'll get a Lyra and Natalia match out of it, which I think is a good match for Lyra. Lyra's obviously over right now. Like the fans really reacted when she came out, and she's showing a lot of good growth with this feud with Becky. So really enjoying what those two are doing too. But yeah, no, this was a good match. Happy that Roxanne won, and yeah, like I think Roxanne is a huge favorite to win Money in the Bank, and especially with what was teased later in the night and stuff. Like I definitely feel like that's something that could be played into some type of factor as well. So
exactly, yes. From there. They decided to show a video package of Michael Cole from 2012 because they were in that same building back in the day. So they were trying to show, this is what happened the last time we were here. Yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know why. It was from 2012 where John Cena beat up Michael Cole and then proceeded to pour him with JR's barbecue.
Yep.
And it's for some reason
all to sell JR's barbecue sauce on WWE Shop. Like that was like the main reason why they did it.
Yeah, and then he proceeded to say, then he mentioned the Heidenreich from SmackDown segment that people still see online and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, I didn't need this, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, this is Triple H trying to say, like, remember, it could be worse. Just trying to remind us that it could be worse. And
enjoy this now.
But like you guys complain about me online right now, but remember what you were watching back in the day? And it's like, no, Triple H, I remember. It was terrible, but we can still criticize you on some of your stuff. It's okay. You don't need to like. We know you're better than Vince right now. Like it's not hard to say Triple H is better than Vince in some aspects, but we can still criticize his work. It's not a big deal.
It's crazy too. Like I didn't mind heel Michael Cole. I didn't mind it. At first it was
He was
like,
good. He was good in spurts. It was just the Jerry Lawler feud just went on. Like it was just like, dude, like end this shit already. It was just stupid. And then also too, it was kind of disrespectful to JR. Like it was kind of like they're like saying fuck Jim Ross during that whole storyline and stuff. So like it left a bad taste because it was just like, yeah, they were just like, yeah, that was my only concern about it.
I did enjoy though that run in NXT when he was feuding with Brian in the beginning when Brian just
Yeah.
showed up. That was fine. Then the rest was in it. It was in between.
Oh, Michael Cole, before people start to give him his flowers. If you guys are ever bored, just go watch where he was forced to like commentate NXT. He's so hilarious on that brand because he's just talking shit about everything. Like you can tell Vince is not in the mic because he is just talking shit during the whole time when he was on NXT. Like I forgot what season it was, but whatever season he was on where he just was like a heel and just didn't care. He was just talking shit about everything going on NXT. Like he's like, I already have to call like SmackDown and Raw, and now I have to call this bullshit. Fuck that. I'm doing whatever.
Remember Caval? How did that turn out for you? That shit was hilarious, bro. That shit was hilarious. From there, though, we see Adam Pearce in his office, and he announced, and I showed the graphic moments ago, that Tozawa is now cleared. He is now clear. So next week, it will be Akira Tozawa fighting in the honor of his tag team partner, oh my goodness, I'm having a fucking brain fart right now.
Otis.
Yeah, Otis. Fighting in the honor of Otis to take on Rusev, who's kind of still doing the Redeemer run shtick, if you will. He's kind of still doing that whole Redeemer shtick for the most part. So Sal, good luck to you. There was that, and then out we see Chad Gable, and
I was gonna say something. I think it's smart what they're kind of doing with Rusev, kind of keeping him away from like any important matches, because the thing with Rusev is you don't want him to be like anywhere near the Money in the Bank or anything that will get him close to a world title opportunity, because the minute he fails that, people are already going to be like, oh, see, get on arrival. So it's kind of smart that you're saving Rusev for maybe something later down the road. I personally like that Rusev is just like, he's pissed at all these mid-carders and jobbers, because like he hated that he was a mid-carder and jobber. So like people he feels like are not living to their potential, he wants them to know what it's like when you do live to the potential. And so I kind of like this role for Rusev right now, where he's just kind of like, you're wasting yourself. I was like you. I was wasting myself. I was a loser just like you. And then all of a sudden I went on a quest, and now I'm no longer a loser. And I will show you what happens when you apply yourself and you get better. You can't be a loser anymore. And I like this role for him right now, because clearly, like, IC title, he's not going to win that. World title, forget about that right now.
You never know. Not
right but now. Like Dom's they're building the IC title around Dom right now. So that's what I'm saying. He's not in position to win any of the belts. So this is like the perfect position for him, because you have a lot of lower card acts on Monday Night Raw that are just a waste of time, to be honest. And you can have Rusev tell this story, and then finally he can. And when he's ready to move up, let's just say there's a mid-carder on a losing streak, or someone else is like not living up to what Rusev views as their potential, then you can go after them, and that's how you can kind of build up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, like, if they start sending Rusev at main event Jey Uso come like fall time. Like, that's like going to be like the big feud that will finally get Rusev up into that main event status, or up into like the world title spear, or wherever they want to put him. Yeah. Because that's where I feel like, but this is when Jay's not champion. But this is where Rusev can talk about how Jay just didn't live up to the potential as world champion. He can't even get the belt back, and then he's just acting like it doesn't matter. That makes him sick, because he felt like that. And then I think Rusev is doing great work promo wise too. Like, he's killed like that. Like I said, he got me hyped for a match with Akira Tozawa, which I know is going to be just like a glorified squash match. I'm like, bro, like, you're doing great work right now and stuff. Like, I know it's just a ripoff from what he did in AEW as a Redeemer, but that was his best run in AEW. So I'm fine with this. Like, wrestlers taking gimmicks that work, and instead of trying to force things that don't need to be forced, you just go with what you're good at. I'm cool with this. So yeah, and perfect stuff by Rusev, to be honest.
And then we see again Chad Gable, and he's again, he's happy that his boys, in American Made are involved in the tag team title match that's happening this week. It's a triple threat, obviously. It is American Made versus the New Day versus the War Raiders in a 3-way for the World Tag Team titles, right? And he wants to know if him and Ivy Nile can get Money in the Bank qualifying matches, right? Because again, we don't know what the men's qualifying match, they haven't started yet on Monday Night Raw. On SmackDown, we just know that Solo Sikoa is in, right? But on the Raw side, that's happening officially for the most part next week, right? And this led to basically Adam Pearce saying, "Hey, you want everybody out," and obviously Kofi and Xavier, they were trying to say, "Hey, you know what? They were there too. They showed up, right, for the most part, and again, they were going to talk business with Chad Gable, talk business, right." From there, we saw Sheamus and Grayson Waller. If you guys remember last week, Austin Theory pitched for Grayson Waller to face Sheamus. And this was basically just a beatdown for the most part. Yeah, Grayson got his moments in, right? But if you saw on the outside, Austin Theory was having a blast seeing Grayson Waller getting beat up by Sheamus. There's a moment in the match where Grayson's like, "Oh, screw all this shit. I'm leaving." And Theory's like, what are you talking about? Get back in the ring. Get back in the ring. And obviously, Sheamus just, hit him with the brogue kick. And that was it. It was over. It was done, for the 1, 2, 3. And they're teasing that breakup. And I'll be honest, when it happens, I'm just not going to care. I'm not going to care for the most part. Your thoughts, Chase, on the match and anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, this was a typical nothing match. Sheamus, I don't know what they got going on for him. Grayson and in theory should have been broken up a year ago. Like, at least Theory got a crowd reaction. Like the fans were chanting for Theory. So it seems like Weston mentions put them in Seth's faction. I feel like Theory at this point maybe a babyface role for him. I mean, Raw's kind of heavy on the heel side, and I feel like Theory, he's matured enough. He's still good in the ring. Like the match with Sheamus 2 weeks ago showed that the guy can perform. He has a babyface style moveset anyways. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Theory, gets a little hot during the summer. Maybe he's the guy that beats Dom for the IC title. You kind of get Theory back into the mid card scene and stuff. So yeah, I feel Theory is in a much better spot. Yeah, like Waller, Grayson Waller, the thing was he had that tremendous promo with Cena at Money in the Bank, and then it was just kind of he never improved after that. The tag team title run was kind of ass, and then it's just he's just been kind of fine. He'll serve a role, Grayson Waller in WWE for sure. He's good on the mic, and he's a good person that you want to see get his ass kicked. But I don't see anything else past that right now. With Theory, I can see, okay, he's matured a little bit. He seems because before when Theory was put into situations that he was, it was kind of like Drew back in the day, deer in the fucking headlights. He wasn't ready for all this that they were throwing at him. And when John Cena eviscerated him, I was like, bro, that's career suicide. That's legit career suicide for him right now, because this guy literally got told, you win, no one cares. You lose, no one cares. When Cena said that to him, it was like, bro, dude, Cena literally just said what everyone is thinking. He literally just said that. And now Theory has kind of naturally gotten over with the fans. Not super over, but the fans are chanting for him when there's no reason they should. But they kind of see hey, man, there's something likable about this guy. I met Theory in person. I felt he's a great guy. I remember at SummerSlam 2022 when I went in Nashville, everyone was in line to meet Liv Morgan. And this is before Liv was the big star she is. And she leaves. And later on, the guy goes on the mic and says, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing out Mr. Money in the Bank, Austin Theory. And half the line leaves. And I saw Theory's face drop. I was like, damn, I feel bad for this guy. I'll take a picture with him. I don't want to be a dick like that. And I took a picture with Theory and stuff. So, and whatnot. So yeah, no, that's the thing, man. He's a good guy and stuff. So I really do see a lot of babyface potential in Austin Theory. He's gotten better. He's gotten better. And he seems, he seems more mature. Like people need to forget, like Theory's like what 24 years old. Like he's still a baby. Like he's not like he's like
That's a whole career ahead of him. There's a whole career ahead of him.
yeah, dude.
Regardless of what happens, yeah.
Like and half the moves that he invented like 4 moves that he don't get credit for, and like 4 of those, like Logan Paul, the pulverizer DDT, that's a Theory move. Like Logan Paul stole that from Austin Theory. That's a move Austin Theory used to do back in the day. So it's like, like Theory is really good, and I think it was just more of like he just needed a more seasoning. He wasn't ready for what Vince wanted him, like, because Vince was really saw him and felt to himself, okay, this guy, like I can force him into the main event scene. But Theory as the person wasn't ready for that main event scene. He just wasn't mature enough for it. Like he wasn't doing having the correct behaviors to be ready for that main event scene. Now it's kind of like, okay, you can kind of see like there's a chance, there's a chance for Theory to break out. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Theory kind of and he's good on the mic too. It's not like Theory's buns. Like he can be really good at the mic. He had good promo segments with The Rock. He's very good. He has good comedic timing. He knows how to react to certain things. Like that's something that like you can't really teach. Like it's hard for wrestlers to sometimes be as good as Theory is when it comes to reacting, and Theory's good at that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm like, you know what? Like he could possibly be a good babyface during this time, and maybe be someone that beats Dom for the IC title, even though Dom is kind of becoming a babyface, but we'll have to wait and see, but I do see more potential in Theory. So at least there's some build up there.
For sure, yeah. I mean, again, let's hope. That's the thing. Let's just hope. At the end of the day, after this, we got a video that happened earlier in the day, a sit-down interview, most likely via Zoom, whatever it may be, between Michael Cole and Pat McAfee with Indiana Pacers point guard Tyrese Halliburton. And it was announced that Tyrese Halliburton will be a part of the latest DLC in 2K25. But no love for Jalen Brunson.
I think that'll be announced later for sure.
Hopefully on SmackDown. Can you imagine? Like, oh, we got him on Raw, but that's on SmackDown and all that stuff. But again, they asked him about, the big rivalry, Knicks and the Pacers, his thoughts on the upcoming, Eastern Conference Finals. And then they proceeded to ask him who he thought would walk out of Saturday night's main event as the world champion. Now, if you remember, a year ago, there was that SmackDown clip that, that's going around online, right, of Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson. Tyrese Halliburton was accompanying Logan Paul, the Maverick, right? And you would think Tyrese Halliburton would support his boy, the Maverick. Nah, for him, it's like he's going with Jey Uso. This fucking piece of shit, man.
Oh.
Not realizing listen, this segment that we saw, the long-term booking, right? Doesn't happen without Logan Paul. Doesn't happen without Logan Paul. So y'all got to give credit to the Maverick at the end of the day. I'm just saying, give credit to Logan Paul for having Tyrese Halliburton accompany him at MSG. Just saying. But for the most part, again, it was basically that. Yeah. F Tyrese, Knicks in 6. I agree, Romeo. Knicks in 6. Fuck Tyrese.
Yeah, I also have the Knicks in 6. Halliburton, he didn't provide anything to me, to be honest. He's a talented player, but as like a talker and stuff, he's like the last person I want to hear talk. Like he just sounds goopy to me.
Like a good guy. Like you want to boo him, but he just doesn't have those heel characteristics that you expect.
He just comes off goopy to me. Like he's just kind of a weird dude in general. But yeah, when it comes to the Knicks and the Pacers, I think it's gonna be a tough matchup and whatnot. But I do think that the Knicks can win this in 6 games. The thing with the Pacers is like the one thing that they will have over the Knicks is that they do have like a little bit better depth than the Knicks, and then they also have players that can get call. Like the key for the Knicks is Karl Anthony Towns not getting into stupid foul trouble. That's when the Knicks, like you can tell, like on the court, like Brunson's amazing. We all know what Jalen Brunson can do as a player. Josh Hart, we know what he can do as a player, but Josh Hart's going to be asked to do a lot in this series between Halliburton, Nembhard, and Neesmith. Those three, like Josh Hart and OG Anunoby, have to be on their A game. But when Karl Anthony Towns is on the floor, It doesn't matter which big is on him. He finds a way to score against all those guys. But the problem with Towns is this. Towns, he loves to commit stupid fouls, especially early in the fucking game. And I know this from watching him with the Timberwolves. Like, he commits a lot of dumb fouls, and especially in high pressure moments. Like, when he's right, Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the best players you'll see on a basketball court. But when he's not right, you can see it. So Towns is the key in this matchup. It's not like, I know everyone's focused on Halliburton and Brunson, but it's really Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, he is going to be the one that will decide this series for the Knicks. And I think his head will be on straight and he will win this series for the Knicks as well. But yeah, the Pacers do provide a good matchup for the Knicks just because of what they have. Because out of all the teams left, the Pacers, this core has been built together and they've been growing together for like a good amount of years. So like, this is like it's one of those where, when I look at the Pacers and the Pacers, out of all the teams that are left in the NBA finals matchups, they're the most cohesive unit. I know everyone's going to say the Thunder, but the Thunder, they added 2 players in Hardenstein and Caruso, and it's the first year on the team. The Pacers haven't really added everyone. They've just drafted, they've traded away players that don't mesh well in the locker room, and they built this core from the ground up type of thing. So that's why it's like, you know, they're one of those, they're scary because they're a more cohesive team. They're more cohesive than like every other team, because the Knicks, they traded for Karl-Anthony Towns, they traded for Mikal Bridges. Yes, I know that like Brunson, Bridges, and Hart all have those Villanova ties together, but still not have been on the same team as long as the Pacers. Timberwolves, they made trades for DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, sure, Ant and Rudy Gobert, and the rest of that Timberwolves roster has been together, but not as long as that the Pacers. And like I mentioned with the Thunder earlier, they added Caruso and Hardenstein. The Pacers have just been together and been building together. So they're the most cohesive team left. So they are scary. They are a scary team, the Pacers. But I do feel Cat is the one guy that can kind of smoke them, because like Miles Turner's hit or miss when it comes to defense. Obi Toppin, yeah, good luck. He's not playing no fucking defense. And then I believe like probably they'll have Nemhard on Towns sometimes. So that's barbecue chicken for Cat. So it's like one of those where it's like it's going to be a tough series, but I think the Knicks will win. And I would love to say Knicks in 5 as well, but the thing is like the Knicks, they love to make their fans stress out. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 7 games, just because it's like in the rules that the Knicks have to stress out their fan base. Like they just can't win normally. But if Cat is playing great, it's wraps. It's wraps. But if he gets into foul trouble, doing the stupid, oh my God, and just like freaking out, like pushing people when he doesn't need to push, or like, because there will be plays, man. Cat will be in the post, no reason to like elbow anyone. And he just elbows someone. And you're just like, bro, why the fuck did you do that? You didn't need to elbow. You were in good position. It's like, oh my God. It's like, trust me, when I watch Knicks games and I see Cat do a stupid foul, I just picture him in a Timberwolves jersey and I'm just pissed. So, because I've watched him for his whole career. So,
yeah. Romy writes here, yeah, Cat scores 30 over 30 out of 12 against Pacers in recent history. Stay out of foul trouble. And let's go, Wolves. Me and Charlotte are rooting for you.
Hey, man. OKC, UFC, KFC, Wolves in 5.
There you go. There you go. From there, we did get the second women's Money in the Bank qualifying match on Monday Night Raw. That is, let me be more specific here. Right, we had Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, the returning Kairi Sane. That is right.
No pop.
And no pop. And Zoe Stark
came out to this weird ass music. Took forever just to get her coins out of her pocket and just chucked them onto one side of the arena. Like what the fuck was that?
You know what's crazy, bro? Like, and again, I guess during the Penta entrance, they go to commercial break, right? So you see like AJ and Penta in the ring, and they're playing this music. And maybe because I caught the music later on and whatever it was, I thought for a second, oh shit, they changed AJ's theme already. What the fuck is this?
Judgment Day. That's Judgment Days.
Yeah, like it's so like yeah, bro, it's crazy, bro. But yeah, Kyrie had no pop, and this match became a one-on-one match because in the moments in this match, somewhere in this match, Zoe Stark,
like near the beginning. It was like near the beginning of this match.
Near the beginning of it, yeah. Zoe Stark suffered an injury. In the looks of it, and I had to rewind it back just to see what happened, right? she went for like a springboard drop kick. She's done this before, right? And I guess the distance when Kyrie just really wasn't in the right place. I don't want to come off, let's blame the person. No, that's not the intent here. Okay. She just, again, the landing was just off. And her knee just literally just snapped from underneath her, basically. And just a bad visual. You literally hear Zoe just screaming, crying. And this crazy part about it is this is not the first time.
Yeah.
She got injured in NXT. So again, she's probably screaming and crying out of the pain, right? Out of the pain, but also the fact that she's been through this before. It kicks in like I got to go through this shit again and again. I really do. Again, I wish her a speedy recovery. We're all
that was nasty, and especially because Zoe Stark, she's probably one of the more like athletic women on the roster, and she's like a cat. Like we've seen Zoe Starks do like stuff and then like slip off the ropes or something, but she lands on her feet like all the time. Like she's very dexterous how she lands. Like go back and watch last year's Money in the Bank match. You'll know what I'm talking about, where it's like there's many of times in that match where she kind of slipped or messed up her spot, but she still landed on her feet just fine. So it's like seeing that from like Zoe Stark, that one sucks. And especially because it's like the same knee that she's messed up already. This one looked way worse than like the previous injury too. So that one hurt, man. It was just awkward too, because like the fans afterwards were like chanting, "Mommy, mommy." I'm like, bro, like someone's like in the ring crying in pain. Can you guys show some respect or something? And Rhea like awkwardly is like trying to like be like, oh shit, okay, my coworker's hurt. But then she hears a chant and she's like, I gotta respond. I can't just leave the fans not. And then she like smiling all sick. So like I feel bad for Rhea because there's probably some fans, you know how fans get, they're so emotional about everything, saying, look at Rhea smile as Zoe started. Like, no, she's smiling because the fans are chanting for her. What do you want Rhea to do? No sell the fans? Like she has to, like, she's a performer. But yeah, credit to Kyrie and Rio on Rhea on the spot, having to make this a singles match. And it just shows how good both these women are. And in another timeline, Kairi Sane is probably one of the top 5 women's wrestlers of all time. And yeah, things just haven't really shooken out for her, unfortunately. But yeah, this was tremendous by both these women to pick up after what was a scary situation, and one that, they're probably worried about, and kind of, both have been through in some regard, like Kairi Sane, especially. Kairi Sane has gotten hurt how many times in most matches and stuff. And then
she just came back from injury.
Yeah, no, she wasn't injured. She was just on the sidelines.
I thought she was.
No, she was on the sidelines. They're just like, we have nothing for you, buddy. Just go get jacked. That I'll say this, man. She got
Chase Select right here breaking.
Yeah, no, she wasn't injured. Asuka was injured. That's why they weren't using her, because Asuka's been injured and they didn't have anything for her. So they're just like, oh.
Romeo writes here, thank you, Javier, for not using Zoe's injury as clickbait like some other channels I saw do for their Raw review. It's funny, Javier told me, do not ask me to put Zoe Stark. Do not ask. He, in his broken English, no ask Zoe. I'm like, okay, well, you got it.
Yeah, I think that's weird if you put that in your thumbnail, to be honest. Like out of all the themes, like,
or in the title. It's
like
I get it. Y'all want the clicks, y'all want the engagement, and I get it. That's what this is about too, right? People want that engagement, want that. Oh, I gotta clear this, and I get that, but no, it's not it. Just not it. It's not. At the end of the day, But then again, who are we to tell people how to run their channels? That's not really what we do. But for the most part, yeah. Shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to Rhea for holding it down, picking up. And if you saw, like, I guess on the international version, like you see like the trainer the doctor showing up and literally carrying Zoe, and she got an ovation. She got like an applause. But
that's good. At least the fans were chanting "mommy" as she's holding her fucking. That was just bizarre to me. I'm like, bro, come on, like, you guys are a great crowd. Why are you chanting "mommy" when someone's clearly in pain in the ring? Like,
there's no people too who were mad. Oh, why did Kyrie get pinned? Like, understand the situation. Had things not went down how he did, pretty sure Zoe Stark would have taken the pin.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a situation out of both women's control. Like, and look, come on, you're telling me they're not. they already have two smaller women in the Money in the Bank ladder match. You're gonna say that, oh yeah, let's not have not only one of our biggest fucking stars, but a hoss in a ladder match. Like, get out of here. Rhea was going to be in this match regardless. Like you cannot have two PLEs in a row without Rhea Ripley. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, she's your biggest star. Like, I get mad that Jey Uso's not like, you know how pissed off I was last week when Gunther came out. It was like, tonight in Arizona, we're going to find out who could become world champion. And I'm like, bro, Jey Uso's your most over guy. Why the fuck would you not want this guy on PLE? It makes no fucking sense. So it's like, because like, to me, at least how I view it, I feel like there's a certain amount of wrestling fans who do watch the weekly shows, but there's a hell of a lot more who watch the PLEs. So you want your most over acts to me on the PLEs, not the weekly shows so much. So it's like, yeah, it makes no sense. But yeah, Rhea was winning this match regardless. Like we already have Roxanne, we already have Alexa Bliss. Naomi's going to be the main high flyer most likely in the women's side of the ladder match. Why do we need Kairi Sane? You need also someone that is just like, oh yeah, that's the for the casuals, the clear cut favorite to win.
You know, crazy too. If you notice, like the friendship between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, you could possibly have thought, oh, maybe Rhea just ask Io for a title match. At the same time, hey, ask for one, because now they're friends. They're like besties now and stuff. You would have thought, hey, ask, but it is what it is. After this, they showed the Rusev vignette that we talked about earlier. And from there, we saw Finn Balor with the Judgment Day in the clubhouse introducing Roxanne Perez to the group. And according to Finn, she's not a member of the Judgment Day, but they need an extra hand. And in all this stuff, right? Roxanne Perez brings gifts. She hands Dominic Mysterio a gift, a box full of chicken nuggets, even though Dominic loves chicken tenders. But he was given chicken nuggets. And look, at the end of the day, you know, it's a thought that matters, right? It's a thought that matters. She gave Carlito a bag full of apples. And Raquel Rodriguez was unhappy about this. And she was like, you know, I'm going to tell Liv about this. And she wanted Raquel to leave, and she did. Honestly, I don't mind this. Again, she can be like an ally, or what do you call it, an affiliate to the Judgment Day. And who to say, look, coming out of all this, we end up seeing, because you think about it, right? We're seeing also like they're teasing a split in the Judgment Day, right? Who to say we end up seeing, I don't know, maybe a SummerSlam. We see Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez versus Dominic and Liv Morgan. Out of all this, potentially, it's possible, right?
Oh yeah, I think it's highly possible. Yeah, I agree.
You know, for the most part. But if you notice too, like, you know, Carlito just kept his eyes on Roxanne. Like, bro, come on, man. She could be your daughter, dude. Come on. You know, and also who to say, you know, we get off from out of this too, you know, Liv and Roxanne Perez going at it down the road, and we'll see. We'll see how all that goes. But again, I just think that it's the thought that matters at the end when it comes to the gifts, you know. But your thoughts on that segment, Chase?
Yeah, I thought it was good, and it kind of plays into the factor where, like, you know, Roxanne, she can kind of win the Money in the Bank, and then she can kind of lie to Liv, saying like, "Hey, this Money in the Bank is not mine; it's yours. I'll cash in for you." Like, you could be very creative with Roxanne being a part of the Judgment Day kind of the storyline. You could have it where Roxanne is your Money in the Bank, and you know, Liv is against having Roxanne in the group, and then it's just like, but then Roxanne goes like, "Oh well, you know, Liv, you know, you notice I won the Money in the Bank, but I don't plan on cashing in for myself. I'm going to cash it in for you." And then Liv's like, "For me?" And she goes, "Yeah, whenever you want to cash in, I'll give you the contract." And that could be like the storyline that they do, where it's just like it leads up to where like Liv asks Roxanne to cash in, but then ultimately Roxanne betrays, and then she cashes in for herself. And like you said, lead to the Judgment Day split, where it's like Team Finn and Roxanne versus Team Dom and Liv. And especially, you know, you're going to MetLife, New Jersey. I know they're labeling it New York. You know, they always label whenever they go to New Jersey,
New York. If you saw the graphic, it's New Jersey. But yes, I do see what you mean, though.
No, yeah, they're not calling this SummerSlam New Jersey, Steve. They're calling this SummerSlam New York. All right, they're not calling it New Jersey. They're calling it New York. So
can't catch a break, man.
Liv is going to Liv and Dom are at that point. Like, especially with Dom slowly, they're getting over with the crowds, and Liv is naturally going to get cheered. So I think it would be a good storyline to have, to be honest, where, I'll be interested to see if Finn does get put into the Money in the Bank match, because if Finn does, I know this is going to be a crazy take to say because it's Finn Balor, and we've been calling him Pin Balor for the longest time.
I think I know where this is.
It wouldn't be crazy if Finn wins Money in the Bank. Because I think Jey Uso, the expiration date on the world title is June 9th. I think that's the last we see of main event Jey Uso as world heavyweight champion. Wouldn't be surprised if Finn cashes in and becomes the world heavyweight champion.
If this
it's a bold take. I admit it's a crazy take to say, but it's something that is look. Let me state my points. Gunther, he ain't gonna touch the title anytime soon. Steph, he's about to enter the Summer of Roman universe, so he's gonna be stuck with Roman Reigns and feuding with him for the whole summer. Jay, who else do you have for him to face going on? And I'll say this: Jay has done well for the short time as world champion, but the money with Jey Uso is he doesn't need to be champion to be over. He's still going to be over. He accomplished it. He can get one or two more titles, and you really want to show that Finn is like a big deal because Triple H has been going heavy on Finn. I could see it if Finn is in the Money in the Bank. He's the guy that will cash in quick. Because like I said, it's Triple H booking. You either give it to the person and they hold it for a long while, a la Roxanne Perez, or you give it to someone and they're going to cash in quick, a la Naomi. Same thing for the men. Once I see who the men lineup are, I will tell you who I think is going to be the cash in quick guy, and then the cash in long term guy. Right now, Solo's the only guy in the men, and I could see Solo being a good long term guy holding the thing. So. But yeah, no, that's why. But yeah, I really do feel like Finn, he does have a good chance of winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. And I do feel like on the June 9th episode of Raw in Phoenix, Arizona, and new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Finn Balor, and the internet will explode and be pissed off and everything like that. But I could see it. I could see this world happening.
I see the vision, Chase. I see the vision. And when it happens, we're clipping this. We're gonna replay it. Yeah, Chase Adamas here called this on May 20th, 2025 at 7:02 p.m. at the 1 hour mark of this preview of Raw Rundown, basically.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I can see it happening.
If it does, that'd be crazy. That'd be insane. We do have here also after we got the main event, Jey Uso, Braun Breaker. It was fine for the most part, but it ended in no contest when Rollins attacked Uso middle of the match. And then afterwards, Rollins and Braun were beating up on Jey Uso. Then out of all this, Sami Zayn and CM Punk ran in. And again, they were singing the CM Punk song and they all started brawling, right? And Jey was by himself. And then he gets caught again for the fourth time by the Maverick. Again, Jey Uso needs to work on his head movement, man. Needs to work on his head movement come Saturday, man. He needs to. And that's how they ended Monday Night Raw. Again, overall, I thought, again, you're giving people the confirmation that Jey is going to retain. As the last couple of weeks has been just Logan Paul dropping Jey Uso. But for the most part, look, I thought the closing segment, it focused on the two matches that are happening on Saturday night's main event, the tag team match, right? And of course, the world title match. So that was fine. Your thoughts, Chase, on the closing segment of Raw?
Yeah, Jey and Braun, they have really good chemistry with each other. So I do enjoy watching those two go at it because I just think the chemistry that they have is really, really nice to watch. So very good stuff on that end. And the post-match brawl was awesome and what it led to. So no complaints. You build up to the two big matches, I would say, minus Priest and Drew. At Saturday Night's main event, you build up to those two big matches, the tag team match that I feel like at maybe main event the show. I'm not 100% sure, but could be the potential main event, or Jay Uso and Logan Paul. So really liked the synergy in this. But yeah, I think Jay and Braun just have really good chemistry. Like you can watch them wrestle each other for a good while because I just think I just think they have natural chemistry with each other. They just work so well with each other. So
yes, but that was Raw overall. Now let's get into Saturday night's main event, which goes live this Saturday in Tampa, Florida. Again, it's a lot of shit happening this weekend. A lot of stuff. You have Saturday night's main event on Saturday. Sunday, you have Double or Nothing, and then you have NXT Battleground. I already previewed Battleground on Steve's Kitchen. Likely tomorrow, if we're doing a sad, from the looks of it, still up in the air. We're going to preview Double or Nothing right after sad. If we do end up doing a sad. So Alan, Chief, you already know. All right. And if you're a channel member, you can join us and watch sad with us every single Wednesday. That being AEW Dynamite. All right. But let's get into Saturday night's main event. Overall, look, there's only 4 matches here. So this shouldn't take long. I do also have the odds here for Bet Online. For those of you out there who might want to place wagers and all that stuff as well. But again, look, these shows for the most part, look, it's cool to see that they brought back Saturday night's main event, but they're just a house show for the most. They're just house shows. The timing, again, they focus on the timing because they have to be off the air by a certain time, right? But it should be a fun show for the most part. There's some matches that I'm looking forward to. So let's get into this. Chase, are you excited for this show by any chance? Are you excited overall?
no.
Not okay. But let's get into this, guys. Let's get into this as well. Jay Logan confirmed main event.
Okay,
Jay,
that's good.
okay. Very good main event. I don't want Seth to cost Jay the title and have Logan join Seth. Okay. So let's get into this, shall we? Let's get into this. We do have Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre inside of a steel cage. We all remember, Chase, we were there at WrestleMania. They had that very good, Sin City street fight. It was crazy for the most part. They tore it up also in the Fatal 4-Way at Backlash. And I do feel like this could be that match that could steal the show for the most part. Do I expect color here? Maybe some blood. That'd be nice. But, at the same time, Drew's been on a roll, tearing it up. And you feel like there's more. What's the word I'm looking for here? There's more bigger plans for Drew down the road, right? For Damian Priest, it's like, yeah, you're on, like, since he joined SmackDown, it just hasn't really been the same since when he was on Raw, I honestly, considering what I just mentioned, I think Damian Priest does get the win here. Just to throw him up. Hey, look, he lost at WrestleMania. He didn't win a Backlash. Neither Drew. But you want to at least give Damian a win here. So I'm going to go with Damian Priest here. Chase, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Damian Priest, I agree. I think Priest, he kind of needs a win, like a big win. And like, because right now, Drew is a heel. The WWE Universal Undisputed WWE Champion's a heel. Damian does feel like a good filler opponent for Cena. I don't know. But yeah, he needs a win bad. Like he just needs a win. That's it. Like he just needs a win. Steel cage match. It shouldn't hurt Drew if Drew loses this match, to be honest. So yeah, I'm with you. Should be a good match though between those two. And there's no color, bro. This is NBC, bro. This ain't no this is not like a USA Network special. This is on NBC.
Yeah, my bad. I keep on forgetting. Yeah.
NBC going to be like, we don't want no blood. Us wrestling fans, we want it. They'll be like, they'll freak out the minute they see blood. Like,
you get blood,
it's different when it's a combat sport. It's different like when it's like UFC and someone gets cut up and stuff. ABC will take that. They'll be like, whatever, it's fine. But WWE, it's like, oh no blood there, buddy.
Yeah, again, you get the blood next. You get the blood on the next day on Double or Nothing. That's where you get the blood. But For those of you who want to place a wager on this via Bet Online, Drew McIntyre's a plus 170, Damian Priest a minus 250. Just so you know, for those of you out there. But overall, should be a fun match for the most part. We do have here John Cena, the WWE
What a
Undisputed
waste
Champion.
of a Cena fucking appearance. This is so stupid. This is the
Going
dumbest
away.
thing ever. No, this is
Does he
terrible.
Does he live in
Not
Tampa?
Yeah, he lives in he's coming out first and he's leaving the building. He's not staying late. He's not going to give anyone advice. He's
He has
just
dinner on
there.
the table. He has dinner waiting for him on the table when he gets home.
Oh, dude, you know he doesn't like dinner. Remember when Nikki Bella made him dinner at his house at Total Divas? He freaked out, acted like it was the end of the world. Motherfucker don't care about no dinner at his house. He's going to a nice restaurant with his wife after this. This is atrocious. This is absolutely atrocious. No, this is atrocious that this is happening. Like
I get
we're
that.
wasting a John Cena appearance for a stupid ass R-Truth match that a meaningful John Cena appearance. This is Saturday Night's main event on NBC. This is Peacock. This is like, oh, this is John Cena, the greatest of all time, 17-time world champion. And you are wasting your time with a comedy match with R-Truth. This is one of the few dates that we have left with John Cena, and this is the bullshit we're fucking getting. It's terrible. It's absolutely fucking terrible.
I'll say this. Okay, first off,
there's no defending this. There's no defending.
I get that. I get that. 100%. They
terrible.
Made it clear, not for this, but I just don't feel like this will be a match. Yeah, it's dumb. Don't get me wrong. This feels more like
this is a match. It's going to be a match. It's just going to be a shitty match. It's a match. It's just going to be shitty.
Look, we all know Cena's winning, but for those of you who are like sickos here,
a non-title Cena appearance. Not even a good non-title Cena appearance. A waste of a John Cena appearance. Like, how many days this motherfucker have left? 20, 26?
27, 23 now, 24, 25.
Wow. And you decide to do it with Arch.
Remember, R-Truth feels he can bring some sense to Cena, which is not happening. But Cena's a minus 5,000, R-Truth a plus 1,000.
Atrocious.
Yeah.
Fucking atrocious.
Yeah, Roman, this should be a prop. Over under 7 minutes.
I don't even want to see 2 minutes of it. I just hope he comes out, tries to shake John Cena's hand. AA 1, 2, 3. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Let's move on here. We go on now to the tag team match between Sami Zayn and CM Punk versus Seth freaking Rollins and Braun Breaker. For those of you who want to bet, Rollins and Breaker are a minus 1,000. Punk and Sami Zayn are a plus 550. Since WrestleMania, right? This whole thing started. Paul Heyman acquiring the services of Braun Breaker to join Seth Rollins. For me, like, if you can give him a name, just call him the Vision, right? But it should be a fun match for the most part. Being that Rollins and Breaker, again, this group is still a new thing. You want to at least, show that, hey, they could win here, right? So a part of me says somewhere in this match, Punk and Sammy will have a miscommunication, right? And if you remember, after the Raw after Mania, Sami Zayn, people were thinking, oh, he's going to attack Jey Uso. He had that look on his face, right? Maybe we see from here a Sami Zayn heel turn coming out of this, right?
No, not on Saturday Night's main event. It's not that important of a show. Like that would be crazy to happen on Saturday Night's main event. On a Monday Night Raw, yeah, I would agree with you. Maybe there's a chance, but not on Saturday Night's main event. Like that show. This show is clearly just like you said, a house show. What like they're not going to do like a cool angle on Saturday Night's main event. That'd be wild for them. Like no way.
I mean, didn't Kevin Owens like package pile drives Cody Rhodes like after the match and shit like that? I mean,
yeah. We didn't see it. We had to see it after the fact, not during the actual show. It was after the fact that we got the package pile driver.
Yeah. Remember, Sammy winning the Rumble next year. He'll have to.
Yeah. Sammy is he's one of the top 3 people that can win the Rumble next year. Like it's like Sammy, Braun Breaker, and actually I have a wilder take about who can beat Cena for his last match, but I'll save that for later.
Okay, fair enough.
It'll shock people. But okay. I truly believe in this guy.
But that's happening, right? But I'm going with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Chase, what about you?
I kind of feel Punk needs a win here. So I'm going to go with Punk and Zayn, to be honest. Like, get Punk a win. Maybe there's no non-finish. Triple H loves his non-finishes. So I do think Punk wins. Maybe Breaker takes the pinfall here and stuff. Like, you got to show there's some chinks in the armor. That this is why Braun Breaker is with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. He needs to learn how to get better and everything. So CM Punk winning, that would be good. Can kind of prolong it. Like, you don't want to make Seth too overpowered, and you don't want Punk, because like Punk really hasn't won a big TV match since the cage match, and he didn't really win that match on his own. It was because Roman pulled Seth out and stuff. So Punk's, if you want to be real about it, Punk's last big TV win was either against Sami Zayn for the Elimination Chamber qualifying match or the first Raw on Netflix against Seth Rollins. So I feel like NBC, CM Punk's one of your hotter stars. Send the fans home happy. Give Punk a win. We already have to witness Cena and R-Truth, but make this like a good babyface show. The heels don't need to, and it's Saturday night's main event. It's like so inconsequential for the overall landscape of the WWE. It's just a primetime show for them to showcase their hottest stars. That's it. So I'm cool with CM Punk and Sami Zayn winning here, and then like maybe Braun Breaker, like he's upset, he let him down, and then Seth calms him down and says, you know that raid you have, Braun? This is what I want. Roll it. Take it to your destiny. Some bullshit. I don't know. Some Power Ranger shit that he would say to him. Who knows?
Yeah. But then we got the main event. Before we get to the main event, I just want to say these odds are disrespectful.
No, what were the odds for the tag match? You didn't even say the odds for that one.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I apologize. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker are minus 1,000. Punk and Sammy are plus 550.
That's ridiculous. What they have. I don't know. I just feel making Rollins and Braun Breaker overpowered is kind of crazy in my opinion, but whatever.
Oh, 100% correct. 100% correct. But the main event, Jey Uso defending the World Heavyweight Championship against the Maverick, Logan Paul. These odds are disrespectful as all hell. How dare they? They have Logan Paul at a plus 1,200. Jey Uso minus 5,000. Look, you guys know me. I always support the Maverick. Always have, always will, right? Again, there's a lot of wrestlers out there who would wish they had half the talent that Logan Paul has. But look, I'm going to be honest here, man. Chase, this is what I like about Logan Paul. And maybe you'll feel the same way about the big SOB. Those two men are professionals, man.
What are you talking about? My favorite wrestler is John Cena.
We talking about the big SOB. Okay, John Cena.
That's why I'm pissed. We're wasting a date of my favorite wrestler on R-Truth when he should be facing big names,
Okay, but Logan Paul, bro, he's a true professional, man. You never hear Logan Paul politicking back. You don't hear no report from the dirt sheets. Logan Paul politicking. You'll never hear that. Logan Paul is a true professional when it comes to being inside the squared circle. That's why, again, in this situation, Jey Uso was going to win. Jey Uso was going to win. But again, Logan Paul's a professional, man. He's going to go out there to give it his all. Give it his all. A year almost to the day that he wrestled Cody Rhodes in Saudi Arabia. And he lost that one too. That's fine. Logan Paul doesn't need the world title. At this point, he's bigger than being a champion. His day will come at the end of the day, but it should be a fun match. Don't get me wrong. Because factoring into, Logan Paul has been dropping Jey Uso for the last couple of weeks like a hot potato, just dropping him. So that being said, Jey Uso does get his win here. He does win and still. Your thoughts, Chase?
Yeah, Jey Uso wins. There's nothing more to say. Should be a good drama match. Should build up to the fact that, can Jey Uso avoid the punch? Yeah. I don't know what more needs to be said, but that's it.
Yeah. But that's basically Saturday night's main event for the most part. Again, look, this weekend, a lot of shit going on. You have this on Saturday. You also have potentially game 2, right? For the Western Conference Finals, or is that weekend the NBA's taking the weekend off for the most part. Someone got to fill me in on that. But
wait, what?
The NBA, like, there's no games this weekend, right? No game 2 or game 3 coming up for the Western or the Eastern.
Oh, there should be.
I just want to make sure. Like, I don't know, maybe I get the wrong one. I don't know, but still. Point is, though, there's a lot of stuff going on. Wrestling wise, right? You have this on Saturday. Sunday, you got Double or Nothing, and you have Battleground at the same time. But yeah, man, can't wait for the most part. I'll see what's happening in the chat here. They rotate every day. Okay, so they're rotating every day. So okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, because if because like we play Tuesday, we'll play again Thursday, and then we're gonna play again Saturday.
There you go. And then Sundays, the Knicks and the Pacers. So
Yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. I just want to make sure. Sorry.
I was like, I'm like, what are you talking? Like, there's no way, bro. Like, what?
You got baseball, basketball, wrestling a lot this weekend. Yes, you do indeed. But overall, should be a fun show. We're gonna recap all these PLEs and pay-per-views on Monday on Steve's Kitchen for the most part. So there you go. That's gonna be it for us, guys. Much love to all of you, as always. You guys have been awesome. All right. If you have not checked out Steve's Kitchen, talked about it on we did it on Monday. We talked about well, mostly me. It was, Darby Allin successfully achieving what most people thought was impossible, climbing the top of Mount Everest. Good for him. Good for him. All right. And again, Raw next week.
They better not give him a world title because of this shit. Just give it to our Grace. Like, stop taking around.
They might. Who knows? We also have next week on Raw qualifying matches for next Monday, women's and the men's for Monday Night Raw. You also have the triple threat tag team match for the World Tag Team titles, American made, the Creed brothers, that is, right? Going up against the War Raiders and, of course, the defending tag team champions, the New Day. And, of course, Akira Tozawa defending the honor of Otis, going up against Rusev. So make sure you tune in for that and all that stuff. But much love to all of you. Follow the Around the Point Network over on X at AT Point Network. Follow me on X at Heel Steven. Chase, let them know where can they check you out.
Yeah, you can follow me on X at ChaseAubrey68.
Knicks and Pacers against Dynamite and Double or Nothing. Yeah, Sad's in the mud for the most part. And you forgot TNA Under Siege. Oh, yeah, that's happening, what, Friday? And the UFC Blanchfield and Macy Barber. Did I say it right? No
cares?
Yeah, it's fine. But that's going to be it for us, guys. So much love to all of you. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. For myself, for Chase, and the gang, this has been the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network. We might or might not see you tomorrow for something about Dynamite. We'll keep you posted. Peace out, y'all.